Welcome back. The president came to Texas this week telling attendees of the National Rifle Association convention in Dallas that, quote, Democrats are coming for your guns. During a speech, the president openly advocated arming teachers and assured NRA members they will never have anything to worry about in terms of their Second Amendment rights as long as he's in the White House.
We strongly believe in allowing highly trained teachers to carry concealed weapons. They're highly trained.
Given the mass shooting in Parkland, Vegas, and Sutherland Springs, is gun control shaping up as a critical issue in the upcoming midterms? You know, Tony, you're actually still in the classroom. You want to talk about this issue?
Definitely, because I think it really is terrible. Right now, we're talking about closing schools in HISD. We are going to fire hundreds of teachers. Do they get their guns before they go? So do they get their Trump gun? Do they get to keep their Trump gun before they go? I think it's terrible. I don't even have time to talk about him lying to the NRA.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm supposed to back up the NRA right now, maybe because they've been lied to, or maybe he lied to the Parkland survivors. Maybe the kids, the thousands of students who marched for the March for Our Lives here in Houston and marched to Ted Cruz's office and said vote him out and wanted gun control. They might be mad that they're lied to, but at the end of the day, to me, it's heartbreaking to think of our president lying to all of us while on the ground we're suffering where 10 communities within a year might have schools closed down. And I know it's not the answer to come up with guns for these folks. Take that money and invest it right now in the 10 schools that are about to close.
Rick Walker, I know you to be a father of 2 girls you just cherish. Do you think it would be safer if somebody in that school, maybe a teacher, maybe a principal, had a weapon?
Absolutely, absolutely, Greg. I think the biggest issue that we've got right now is people that are armed they have the right to have the gun, but they don't have the responsibility of that gun ownership. That's something we have to address in the upcoming elections. The folks that are around the schools, the security guards, you saw this in Parkland with the Broward County Sheriff's deputy, they didn't go in. People like that, I mean, that's why you have the death penalty for people like that. They don't go in to try to save kids. I think that I read also that there are about 5,000 gun holders per 100,000 residents here in Texas. There are a lot of gun owners that live very, very close to schools that are involved in school activities on a daily basis. It'd be great to have those folks that are trained and educated to be able to be in our schools and protect our kids.
Nyanza, you're a sweet girl.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So I don't understand how you can do a correlation between bringing up that a sheriff's deputy did not run into a building in Parkland, and he wasn't the only one, but then at the same time, if the sheriff's deputy had years of training and still had a weapon and a badge and did not run in, what makes you think that an elementary school or a junior high school or high school teacher would have that much more courage than a deputy who can run in? So do you think that a pistol, if she had a pistol or he had a pistol and an AR-15 was coming in the door, do you really think there's going to be a shootout? I don't really think that arming teachers is the answer, and I don't understand why we're having this conversation when neither the parents nor the students nor people, you know, that are in the gun law regime want this. Who is saying that this is a good idea besides Donald Trump? And who is trying to shove this down our throats? No, I don't want Kennedy's teacher to have a gun in the classroom, because guess what? If that teacher has a bad day and shoots the wrong student or has some type of racial bias that's inherent and automatically thinks that a certain student is a threat because they're bigger, taller, dark, or whatever, what is going to happen with that when that teacher shoots a child? Are we going to have any recourse? No, we're not.
Okay, Jess, back to the big picture, heading into these midterms. Is gun control, Second Amendment rights, going to be a major critical issue?
Well, the Democrats have been trying to make gun control a major issue in these midterm elections, and we haven't seen it taking hold the way that they would want it to take hold, to have an effect. When you're looking at these national elections and you're looking at the state elections, really 2018 is a midterm election. It's a state of the state. So we're looking at the big picture. We're looking at how the state is recovering from Harvey. We're looking at how businesses are coming into Texas and making it a great state that people want to move to and flourish in. We're looking at, you know, property tax reform. We're looking at the big issues, things that affect people at their kitchen table every single day. And a lot of times gun control and Second Amendment rights don't doesn't fall on that priority list of when people are ticking through what's immediately important to them into their pocketbook. But Second Amendment rights have taken, have been on the center stage in our dialogue, and we'll see if it does translate to the midterms. But this is a state of the state right now. Governor Abbott's performance has been stellar. We're looking at strong midterm elections headed into November.
Okay, before he became a restaurant mogul, Marcus Davis actually was a public school educator. What do you think of this idea?
I think it's a terrible idea. I think the idea that teachers have a burden already that's overwhelming on them. I think the idea that they are responsible for the education of our children, that they spend 8-9 hours a day with our children, that they take so much of their personal time, their personal money, their personal energy, and have to give all of that, and then they're not getting paid enough. And the idea that you have this ludicrous expectation that they are going to be the trained professional that comes in and saves the day, when the people who are trained to save the day won't save the doggone day. I think this is an absurd burden on the teacher. But here's the bigger point. And Jessica, you were absolutely right. The Democrats have tried to make this a political issue, and so have the Republicans. The sad part about it is we don't give a damn about these kids. The only thing that's important right now to the Democrats and to the Republicans is which one of these is going to drive more voters to the poll in the name of this hot button issue. They could care less. They completely ignored what these kids asked for, what they paraded down Washington, D.C. and asked for, which was take guns out of our schools, not put more in.
Final word to Bill.
Amen to everything that Marcus just said. This is more hyper-partisan nonsense. There's not going to be any teachers with guns in schools. This is just trying to drive the base. Just as the Democrats are going to try to drive the base. Look, we lose 50 times as many kids to teenage suicide than we do gun violence. We lose 100 times as many kids to drug overdoses as we do gun violence. If you really care about these kids and you want to do something, then go address those problems, Mr. President.
Okay, we're going to leave it right there. Good conversation. When we come back, victims of racial bias settle the score with Starbucks, and most are calling it a classy end to an ugly controversy. Stick around.